Hope to me is like a light switch, turning on in a dark room. No matter how dark something is, light can overpower it. If you have hope, anything can be possible. 4 years ago, my grandmother was in the hospital at the intensive care unit. I remember seeing my grandma crying and telling my aunt she didn't feel well. A few days before the incident, she wouldn't eat much and was very weak. I thought it was a new medication her doctor prescribed. I thought it would pass in a couple of days, and when I asked her if she was okay, she would say she was fine. I didn't really think much about it. When my grandma was in the hospital, my family members that lived in Mexico, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas dropped all of their duties and responsibilities and flew in to visit my grandma. The whole time my family was here, it was sad and depressing and a dark time for everybody. I would visit my grandma every day once I got home. Day by day, she was getting worse. She was fragile and lost a lot of weight. About a week later, my grandma was transferred to a private room where loved ones could say their final goodbyes and to spend time with her. I didn't fully understand what was going on. All I knew was that she was sick and that I believed she was going to get better. Until my dad pulled me aside and told me that my grandma, the person I looked up to, someone who I went for advice, the person that I loved dearly, was not going to make it, and that I should say my goodbyes. I looked at my dad in disbelief. How could he say that to me? How could he not think my grandma could get better? How could he not have faith? I guess most people would think I was in denial, that I couldn't accept my grandma was going to be in a better place. To me, it wasn't denial. I just had hope. She was going to get better. Nobody had hope. They just agreed with the doctors. They couldn't see the shred of light, the hope in this dark moment. Not me. I held on to that light. I prayed she would get better. Hope can't solve every problem, but it is sure good to have. It can give you strength to get through a difficult time. It can make a depressing time less depressing. Your hope can inspire others to look for that light in a dark room. Help illuminate their path. When you have hope, it's a bit easier to get through tough times. Once I prayed that she would get better, I knew I was going to get hurt. A few weeks after she was in the hospital, she started to get better. Day by day, she looked a bit better. She wasn't weak anymore, and she started to eat more. The doctors were wrong, and I was glad they were wrong. I held on to that hope, and now she's doing better. She had to start dialysis. It's a day-by-day struggle. It takes a toll on her, but she's okay. She now has to watch what she eats. Turned out my grandma had high potassium, and that it was deadly for her because of her condition. During this time, when my family was sad and hopeless, I held on to that light of hope. That light made me strong to get through school. I was able to live with my family without getting sad and think of my life, my future without my grandmother. She means everything to me. She was the one that taught me to have hope, to hope for good things, to have hope in others, and to be hopeful in a dark time. Have hope, not just in the big things, but in the little things. Hope for a brighter day. Hope for a life filled with happiness and in good health. Have hope in the good times in life, but most of all, in the dark times. I know in the future I'm going to struggle, that life isn't going to be easy. But if you hope for the best, you're going to get the best. This, I believe.